Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of The Plight of Princes. Ooh, nothing major happened last session. Let's just go straight in. Where we left off, the party found the remnants of, actually just going directly back in step by step as to why you were at certain points is funnier. So, um, I'll start from the point of they had found the threat that had been dropped into the Neverwinter Bay by the Githyanki ambassador, who was demanding the spires of Lakith from them. The spires of Lakith they've collected two of, one for each of all of the schools of magic, two of which they have, was offering to trade two of them for one person that they had stolen away when the Githyanki nuked Neverwinter. The party found this stony figure essentially kept in a rock cocoon, for lack of a better analogy. And when the paladin of the party, Wittick, struck down with his big hammer and cracked it and visibly dented the actual working itself, the creature nearly woke up. The concept of this creature waking up now became the major threat, as the damage, whilst a heavy sum, did not do enough to be considered fatalistic to the creature. Furthermore, the creature had wrecked its ship into excuse me. The creature wrecked a ship it had crashed into, which would belong to a ghost pirate. This is the Demon of the Sea, is the name of it. And the party easily dispatched one of the ghosts. One of the ghosts attempted to possess the stony figure. Have you ever seen an ant jump into a praying mantis's hands? It's kind of that, where it's like, ooh, dinner. From there, the creature eventually woke, but was then immediately put back to sleep, and then hit with an inflict wounds that did so much damage, a rock was thrown at it by a presently not here, and hopefully will feel better soon after his first vaccine shot, Ceralis. From there, the party looted the ship. A lot of them being very paranoid for whatever reason that the chest they found could have been trapped. No idea why. Entirely unreasonable.
Because we've played D&D before. Don't make that face. You know what you've done. Silence.
Did I say a thing?
No.
So, they got the chest back to the surface, picked the lock that was on it, mostly rusted, broke the lock off, and there was a large collection of gems and coin within, and at the top of it were 3 cards bound in leather. Posey picked up one, and gems upon gems upon gems fell down around her into the boat that she's currently in. Second one, became aware of a location in which she owns and that has a writ with her true name on it within in a chest, but it is kept currently by monsters and must be cleared out. And then Runara pulled the Fates, a card which allows you to say that one event from history never occurred. Runara, you are aware of what this card can do. Posey, you are aware of what your 2 cards can do. As the small boat, the folding boat that you're currently in, tied off to the floating lunar whale that is currently at the top of the ocean, yes. I like how every single thing that's been like, how many magic items has he given them? Yes, that is my answer. That's how many I've given them. There are gems all around you. Gold in that chest. What do you 2 do?
Just for purposes,
Just
bag
for
holding purposes, do we know how much gold is in the chest?
There is a total
Obviously,
of.
until we get back in character, we won't know in character, but just
You
so I
won't
can
know in
write it down.
character, but just for yourselves, there is 2,500 gold. 500 of which are just platinum pieces. So you have 50 platinum. 2,000 gold and 50 platinum.
I just kind of, I have like my hands on the side of the chest that I'm like sat in front of, having just opened it, and we've just got done putting all the gemstones into the bag of holding, and I'm just gonna look at Runara, like, what just happened?
Did the other card you did do something?
Uh-huh.
Huh?
Yours?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not yet.
That's worse.
No. Well, yeah.
I kind of look over to the where the rest of the party are. Mine, I have a castle that's mine.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Well, a whole castle.
Yeah.
Well, now the running away joke is becoming real. Okay.
Yeah. No, this is becoming a lot more realistic, actually. That's kind of on the way.
Wait, where is it?
Correct me if I'm wrong. South end of Neverwinter Wood.
Yeah. Out of character.
Are you guys okay over there?
Oh,
You two
yeah,
are leaning close, mumbling
Um,
these things to one another.
We're just
Yeah.
counting.
yeah, but mine's a little tricky.
Okay, I'm gonna pretend to count this. So, explain as I make sure everything's. In case anything, like when we open the chest, anything came out, I'm gonna be like moving stuff around, making it look like we're doing stuff that we're not doing.
Basically, it's gonna let me kind of rewrite history a little bit.
In like a specific way.
Like it lets me. I think it lets me pick one thing, and then that thing never happened.
Holy shit!
I don't what. Just
That. Wow.
yeah.
Do you know what you're gonna do?
No.
There's just nothing comes to mind.
Well, yeah, but I don't know what would happen if I would it change the screen.
We wouldn't. We can't tell them that. You know that, right?
Wait, what? Oh, for the same
Yeah.
reason we've got
We can't.
the rod.
Yep.
They're gonna use
You know,
it.
I don't mean to keep entering these like things with you.
You're keeping secrets, probably.
Sorry. Well, I don't know why I'm apologizing. This is you, but just I'd love to tell you what to do with it, but I can't. Just be careful, because that never goes well in stories.
Oh, if you've got any ideas, but I don't know.
So many. All of them would be bad.
What would you use it for?
I don't know. There's so many people and things you could get rid of with that.
That's true.
I don't know if that's like
Like,
I don't think that's a thing you would do with it though. You're not that kind of person.
I just don't know.
But you've kept my secrets, so I'll keep yours, and I'm better at keeping secrets than you.
What do we say to them when we tell them when I ask
I
about the
don't-
gems?
Well, I mean, the
Let's put it
gems,
this way.
it doesn't matter so much. We
It
can
was
say
a
that
trap.
when we opened it, that a bunch of gems rained from the sky. It was magic.
Sure. I'll let
Or
you
hell, we can tell them that there were cards in it, but it just made a bunch of gems. I might tell them. The thing is about that castle, it's full of monsters, which isn't really a problem for me. But if you guys want to
Oh
help,
no, that's fine. Yeah, we can do that.
I mean, it's not an issue for me, but we
Maybe
can
I
do
could,
it.
maybe I could use mine just to say it never got infested with monsters. And
That's a
then it's
waste
easier.
of something.
But which is
That's so much, Renara. I can clear out a bunch of monsters, but I can't undo time,
that's fair.
and you can now because you're special.
I don't want to be special. I want to be normal again. I miss team
We
normal.
are Team Normal. That's still us.
Are we?
Yeah, definitely.
Normal's changed.
I don't think even normal is static. I mean, okay, but also I don't think normal can last endure them. I think normal falls away when you deal with people like that.
Yeah,
They're
probably right.
contagious with their weirdness.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is why
So,
stuff like this happens. But let me
so
do the
we-
talking, okay?
Yeah, you do talking. Okay, I'll just nod and look away.
You're good at that.
Carlos, did you remember to edit your proficiencies?
Yes, I did. Not that this one applies, but
Just for future.
no, trust me, I see that number. It's the highest number on my character sheet.
Wait, even higher than HP?
Persuasion be
Yes.
upon you!
Oh damn.
Okay, I'll like close the top of the chest and like stand up and do some of this, and then I'll like wave back at the others. We're good.
Wait. Pull him in.
Yeah, I'll start reeling the rope back in.
To reel the rope in. Which I imagine, like, you have, like, you know, people usually ring it across the shoulder. You can just see, like, a gear just turning and it's just moving the rope.
It's just like you just see the arm just moving through.
It just keeps going. Vroom.
Perfect circle.
You're like that one bastard who can do the perfect loop with their
Yeah.
rope, and everyone hates you.
See, Renara, this is what I mean.
That's not
You're
What
being pulled.
what normal person encounters this on a daily basis?
You're being pulled in on a floating, folding boat by a robot paladin of a storm god who is riding the back of his giant whale, which he got for saving a mermaid princess.
Yeah, just your average Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Average Wednesday, fucker.
What? That leads into Wednesday. That's what I'm saying.
It's the same day!
Exactly.
Everything stays right like nothing.
Okay. I kind of gesture to Renara like you might want to pick this up because I think I can lift that, but I don't want to test it.
Will it fit in the bag of holding?
No.
No.
Okay, we'll start emptying. I'll start emptying gold into the bag of holding.
Just like lowering it out as much as you can.
I'll help while they're reeling this back in.
Okay. Doesn't take long to reel you guys back in. You're only like 60 foot out. You all agreed to the fact of go to a blast radius and then unpick the lock. So a few more minutes of, and you guys can all see beautiful amounts of gold and platinum are just being poured into the bag, and there are gems as well that are just still either in the bag or have been littered across the bottom of the boat that's being pulled in. If I'm correct, it's hang on, I actually have to get
10
them.
rubies.
I've got it.
10 rubies, 5 diamonds, 15 miscellaneous gems. All of them are 2,000 gold each.
Totaling 50,000.
Totaling 50,000.
Yeah, 2,000 gold each. 25 gems.
Yeah, but I remember when Renara was drawing hers, I was putting some of that in the bag of holding already. So.
Yeah.
Which is
Bear in
why that
mind,
Alright.
gems that are worth that much each are like this. So you very quickly realize you're gonna run out of space if you try to put the gold and the gems and everything else in there, just for stacking of
Well,
it.
they'd fit in the bag of holding.
With
Oh,
everything
shit.
else, because I know you already have stuff in there. you're
Not
going to
what?
have to keep an eye on it now that
Oh yeah, I'll keep an eye.
basically you're not going to be able to dump
it.
another load of shit in there. Let's just say that.
Oh yeah.
Case
yeah,
of pro at inventory management at this point.
Yeah, comparatively to other campaigns, there's fuck all in there.
Zauric goal, would I know?
But yes, I'll
Renara?
keep an eye on it. Uh-huh.
I just thought I should mention that earlier, when you turned the undead,
Yeah.
I thought you being a designated healer should probably know that that made me feel extremely nauseous.
Oh,
Probably nothing to be alarmed about, but I thought I should mention.
that's strange.
It seems to have done me no permanent harm, so I wouldn't say not to use the spell or anything. It's just something to be aware of.
I'll make sure you're not too close next time, maybe.
It's even possible that it did something beneficial to me. I really don't know.
Sometimes it destroys them when I try it, so maybe it's destroyed an undead part of you, who knows. Maybe that's why you felt ill.
Probably, but a mild nausea when we're being attacked by undead seems like a small price to pay.
True. You sure you weren't just seasick?
Pretty sure.
Okay, that's fair.
It's because I'm curious in hearing that the divine magic of a cleric affected him, affected King. I'm gonna just use divine sense. Do I notice any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet of me?
Make a perception check.
Yeah, it's
This is where every single party member flags up as something.
that'd be fucking hilarious.
You're surrounded by fiends with it.
Ah!
You don't get anything.
Just. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was about to make a meme out of that.
Okay.
Go on. I'll say that.
Haha. Undercut. Now that the treasure chest is empty, is there any anything on the inside of it, like any symbols or I don't know, stuff on the now that it's empty?
Make an investigation check of the inside of the chest.
I'm just curious. Probably not, but I'm just curious.
Hidden
17.
compartments.
That's a good.
I'm looking for symbols and stuff as well, like engravings or anything like that.
Ooh, that did not like me.
Oh, my 17 investigation check.
No, the burp that really wanted to come up.
No, I know. I was making a move.
Mother.
Trying that too quick.
Sorry. Yeah, I did. You do see at the very bottom of the chest, in the top left corner, the design of a gaping moth.
Oh,
Sorry, say that again?
you don't say.
Well, I said it for Posey because she's the one who's investigating. If you didn't hear it, tough shit.
Yeah, that's fair.
He said a gaping maw.
Yeah, that's about
Damn
the-
you!
I thought he said gaping moth, and I was like,
Ah.
oh, gaping moth.
Oh,
A
hell
gay
no.
pig moth.
Jesus.
Man, bear moth.
Guys, I'm sipping coffee and that really went all over my keyboard.
Apologise for nothing.
Fatality. So is it in the lid part or the compartment part?
In the compartment at the bottom, at the very bottom of the chest itself, the top.
Okay.
If you're looking down at it, essentially, if the box is there to you, the top left corner kind of thingy.
Is it similar to any other design I have seen previously, potentially in Port Last?
It is similar, but there is only small differences in the actual design itself. It doesn't have sprawling tentacles or anything similar to it. It's just just a mouth.
Okay. And it's like a Yeah. Okay. Similar to last.
How long were the two of them on the boat doing their stuff?
Oh, about 10 minutes.
While that happened, I'll asking if she could look at the dagger that Serenus pulled up, because Kika flagged up that it was magic.
Oh,
Mhm.
cast identify. That's rich.
Oh, the necro dagger.
Yeah.
And
The
Amber.
definitely not cursed dagger.
The dagger is the dagger of sapping. It is a +1 magical dagger. When you crit, you do 1d6 necrotic damage. And if you kill someone with it, you get 1d4 temp health. This does not stack with anything else.
I feel like that was directed at me.
Hey maids, come here. Shank, shank, shank.
I
No.
would do that.
No.
Oh.
Now you got
The
3
necromancer wizard
cadavers.
The necromancer wizard thing specifically has things about killing things with necrotic damage and getting health.
and don't kill the fates. That won't go well for us.
What are they the muses? Or are we dancers? So yeah, there you go.
Okay. That's all.
Seems fine beyond that. Good little dagger.
Hmm.
To my understanding, the way the necromancy works is not against any of the laws. Seems to have no corruption effects. Could be handy in a fight.
Well, Serenus found it, so I guess he can keep it.
Insert Ollie expression here as he takes the dagger. What if I threw this? This is where Serenus becomes Captain Boomerang. Just throws shit at his enemies.
I thought you were gonna go for Crocodile Dundee. Not this.
Is enough.
This is the knife.
Not Australian. We need a Hawaiian accent, clearly.
I'm just
If
envisioning.
you
I'm just
sword a stone,
envisioning.
if you put a dagger in a stone and throw it at somebody, do they become king?
I'm
Of
just.
being dead.
I'm just envisioning Serenus turning into a crocodile, but still wielding the dagger in his teeth. Gotcha, bitch!
Yeah.
No clue. Blue, this is Plight of Princes. This is not Hakakana, alright?
Oh.
I'm sorry, but I just pictured poking the head up, going back down, coming back up with a knife in his mouth. Anyway, tangent.
GM, what time is it right now?
You are sundown now. It's about 5.
Should we get back
I
in
suggest-
once we
Okay.
went to sleep?
Yeah, we need to go back.
Let's
We
stop,
should
stop.
probably report our success and then sleep.
Mm-hmm.
That'll probably give us a spot in the castle, if only for protection. We don't have to
Wait a
take it,
second,
but
wait.
either way,
Wait
One
a
of us
second.
should
Wait a second.
report.
Wait a second. How much is in? How much is in the boat?
Oh, right. Okay. So there's a lot of money. There's a lot of money. Like more money than I've ever seen. A lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, makes sense with pirates.
I don't know
Right.
what we want to do with it.
I have an idea.
In somewhat. Oh,
I might have an idea. You know the whole Neverwinter's kind of a wreck and they're running out of resources stuff thing?
I mean that might be an idea. I don't know. Does Neverwinter need money? It's Neverwinter.
Is the
Yeah,
sky
they're
blue?
Kingdoms can
Wow.
always.
Ah.
Black right now, actually.
In the middle of the night? No.
I mean,
Sundown.
the king was saying about how they're with paying people for rebuilding and everything. They are starting to get a little short on money.
A lot of the
So
stuff.
as
A
to
lot of the
hue
stuff.
of the s-
After you.
As to the hue of the sky, it changes on the time of day and how up you are. I guess you could say the sky has
Hey!
layers.
Hey, okay, turn the phrase. All right. Work with me here.
That was wonderful.
No, wonderful. I love you.
Yep.
A lot of the things that Neverwinter
What I'm
does to make
saying-
money has been broken.
Exactly. Look. I like money as much as the other guy with antlers, but the truth is, I think they need it more.
Okay.
Hey,
That.
if we're lucky, they might have some metal.
Yeah, I was gonna
Good
say
thing.
as well. Like the stuff in the chest. Like I think some of you guys had a point when you said that it's kind of the queen's anyway, and I don't really want to step on her toes more than I already have today. But some of it came
Probably
from
wise.
other things. But I'm okay with giving, you know, some of it.
Other things, aka piracy.
No. Let's go with magic.
Piracy. Magic piracy. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Sorry,
cool,
did you
cool.
say magic card?
Okay, so there were these. So there was the money, and then there were these cards on top. And I picked up one, and a bunch of gems came out. And I picked up another one, and this is what I was kind of getting to, is that I kind of
You need them
Wait a minute.
identified.
I own a
Are you
castle.
saying- Are you
now.
saying that you did the magical equivalent of a royal flush in that boat?
Yeah. Yes. No, better hand than that. But
Sorry. You own a castle.
You own a
yeah.
castle.
So I
You own a castle?
apparently
What?
So I picked up this card and I had like a vision of this castle, and I know that two things. One, it's full of monsters, which isn't really a problem, and two, that there's the like deed to it has my name on it and it's in there.
See, when I said royal flush, I didn't mean literally.
Well, yeah, no, I don't really know how to feel about it, but it happened.
Couple of points.
Okay.
I really promise I'm not being delusional right now.
Huh.
Well,
No, I believe you.
Oh no, cool. I mean, you're on top of a whale right now, and you're saying that you're not being delusional.
None of this is. All of this is weird.
Yeah.
Mainly
You're not
because-
being delusional. I'm seeing
Yeah,
it too.
of course it's weird, but why should that make it delusional?
actually,
I mean,
yeah, Tess. Because knowing that I'm, you know, a piece of the Defenders of Faerun in terms of, you know, that, would they have? They never said
They
anything
ripped
about.
the shit about. Hang on.
I was
ripped
gonna
the
say,
shit-
they would never shut up about that.
They would never shut
Yeah.
up about Varys losing his cards, losing his Helm of Brilliance, and basically
Right.
being left all but nude in the middle of a tavern with his gear gone.
So I
You
would
are
have had.
aware there are such things in the world as magic cards that can do anything from warp reality. Now, you don't know what they all do. And as a
Right.
point of preference, not everyone in the whole world knows what they all do.
Yeah.
Someone or multiple people have heard stories of somebody drawing one and doing something. Like Kira getting a power boost from it. Or pretty much anything else that you guys did with them.
Okay.
A car got pulled, fate was decreed. So, some of them have been known to have done things over time.
right. Well, okay. So it's not outside the realm. Okay.
I would
It's-
hope not, because
Well,
it
yeah,
happened. And if
because-
you had told me it was, then I would have really freaked out. Because if it's weird to you guys, then I'm really fucked.
Now, Kirok apparently, I remember stories of her getting one and getting a power up. And then there was also Varus, who apparently drew one and lost. Basically, lost all of his like magic items. I think is something like that.
Oh,
So
that sounds
Was there,
bad.
were there any other cards? Perhaps I should
No.
identify them just in case.
No, when I used them, they like disappeared.
Let's see. In which case, a couple of points. First of all, castle full of monsters is a problem, especially depending on what those monsters are.
I mean, it's not an unsolvable problem. It's like an afternoon.
More importantly, I believe I've discussed the nature of real property before. Where is this deed with your name on it?
Das, do I know that, or just know it's in a chest in there somewhere?
You just know it is locked away in a chest somewhere in Cragmaw Castle.
It's so there's the castle, and then in that castle is like a secure, locked, like where you would keep documents of ownership if you had them.
more likely
Um,
an altar or something.
Yeah, and
Wait.
it's in there, but it has my name on it somehow.
Well,
Well,
that
I
is
think
Magic,
I've heard
obviously.
this pirate story before.
I've heard a lot of
There's
pirate
a buried
stories. I don't know
treasure
this
in
one.
a castle.
I mean, buried treasure is
Buried
pretty
treasure
common,
in a
but
bloody
like,
castle. Yeah.
I mean, that's not really pirate stories. That's just kind of stories. They don't have to include a boat.
Yeah.
well, this is good.
Well,
The
it does make the
monsters
story better.
in the castle will protect it, being that it's in a lockbox. But
I
worth
mean,
noting that whether the deed has your name on or not, whoever possesses it is the technical owner of the castle. That is the nature of real property, and is why deeds are often stolen.
Right.
But it is safe, we do not have to rush after it.
I mean, if it's okay with all of you, we don't have to do it right now, but I would like to go there.
I'm sure
It's
we can manage that.
Cragmore Castle, I think is what it's called.
DM?
Yes!
Okay.
Okay.
Oh!
I'm sorry. Wait, what?
Oh!
This is where
I think
Serenus would go, wait, what? Serenus lives next door!
I think I've been past it. I mean, I've kind of been in the whole Neverwinter Wood area for a while now. but-
Yeah, we've been past it a few times as well. It's on the way to Fandolin, pretty much.
I mean, we can deal with Fandolin stuff.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
go there
mean-
on the way back.
yeah, I'd like that. Yeah,
Would
after.
love- Many would know of it.
No. They would know of it because it's been referred to them, and it's one of those things of you've been in the area, you're like, oh yeah, and around that corner, down that alley is like the best chipper in the town. Except here, it's full of monsters. Nobody reoccupied Cragmaw. It kind of got left because it is half a day into the Neverwinter Forest from Fandolin. So it's like, why would you go there?
We have whale.
But yeah, if you know, I would just if it is mine.
Moonbeam.
Right. Yep.
We all know you're Little Miss Badass, but you're not going in there on your own.
Oh no, I'm asking you guys to come with me.
I know.
That's
We're coming with you.
I'm asking.
Yeah.
Even
You don't need to ask.
And
We're
then,
coming with you.
you know, we can give some of the money to Neverwinter and kind of, you know.
Of course.
It's been a really long day.
Yeah.
I'm still not really sure that any of this is happening. Since I woke up this morning, I've been pretty convinced that I've been dreaming this whole thing. So,
Well, again, just
Moonbeam.
because you're dreaming it, that doesn't
Moonbeam?
mean it's not real.
I really
Points
wish you
to the
hadn't said that. I really wish you hadn't said that. As your friend, I really wish you hadn't said that.
Sometimes
I
that's
need a
how things
sleep.
are.
I need to sleep, but I would like to hit up the Royal Library and consult the property laws regarding the area your castle resides. We need to know
I
if
mean,
you
okay.
are subject to any annual fees, responsibilities, and what rights you hold.
Etc. Etc.
I don't really. I don't really know anything
Nor do I. That's
about
why I'm going to look it up.
most things, but especially this. I have only briefly owned property in my life, and that's never ended well. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
The ownership
That's
will
okay.
be yours
Agreed.
regardless of where it is. It's just
That's
a
okay.
matter of if you don't meet certain responsibilities with of the land that rulers may preside over, it may be foreclosed to you. in which
Like
case you would be
maintaining it.
given. Well, they would give you value equivalents. It just depends.
I don't know what that means.
It depends on the responsibilities of the land. I'd have to look it up. Leave it
Oh,
with me.
okay,
I'll find out
yeah.
by tomorrow.
Milady, you're confusing it. The Neverwinter, by any chance? Will be good.
Well, just, actually, real quick, before I start having the whale start going back to port, is there still actually gems and stuff on the floating boat?
Nobody said
I
they
think-
took all of it off.
Well, yeah,
Well,
no, we did.
yeah, we did.
That's expressly what we said.
We
Damn,
especially
they
said
got
we're
me.
putting it all in the
Shit.
bag holding.
Here I am trying to go, no, you don't have all of it.
But you would have
We
seen
also-
us
we
putting
also
it in
take
there
the-
because we were doing it as we were being.
Yeah,
put
they
in.
had bank. There's bank being put in there, kids.
We also take the folding boat and return it to our stone master.
Master?
That's such a cool name.
Yeah, you know, the druid,
Yeah,
the stone master.
that's so cool.
The Pebble Prince,
That's his new name.
the rock royalty.
Pebble Prince of
Is
Fandolin.
the Pebble Prince related to the Half-Blood Prince, or?
He's the
Oh,
druid.
he is
He's
the
the
pet-
druid.
No, but he's in Plight.
Ah.
Shall we continue?
Yes.
Please do. Please do.
But yeah, no, and you would have seen us putting gems and stuff in, so you'd be aware of that with this tons.
You have a vague idea. I would say this, Wittick, because you are a mercantile person. It's the equivalent of watching somebody put, the blocks of gold into a bag. In that you don't know the exact value and trade value of it right now, but you know, damn that lot of money.
Right. Well, I mean, we could definitely keep some of the gems probably for ourselves. But
And then they can be used as certain spell components depending on the value.
And if we're going to continue hunting these spoils, we could get some supplies, potions, magic items. and all
Let's
that.
report
Mm.
and take one ori off the royals.
I mean, we should probably work out what we're going to do with the money before we talk to the royals, because they're going to want all the money.
Why
Oh,
would
that
you?
was
Why
like
do
a
you
good
assume
thought.
that?
Because I don't know. They.
Well,
We just engaged in legitimate salvage. Anything abandoned at sea is fair game.
yeah. And surely they were going to pay us for doing this for them anyway, right?
That is not. Either way, we do have to report that there is no longer a threat to the town.
yeah, we do need to report.
That's actually important, yeah.
That's important. That's very important.
Right.
I will double check the statutes, the limitations, and whatnot on the legitimate salvage when I get to the library.
I don't even know what these words you say are, but I trust you.
I
I wanted
All
to. I wanted to see.
right, let's go back to port, please. As King's just in the background talking.
Yeah, King goes on a legal tangent. King actually wanted to check the changes in the laws in the past 20 years under the Queen's rule and stuff. Anyway, since necromancy has now been outlawed, it was rather prevalent.
I mean, it was pretty much, always taboo, but now they actually
Oh, yeah.
able to say, hey, now we actually have a thing to use for you. It's called murder.
Yep. So it falls under the. But yeah, King will look into it to see how far it reaches, and what so stuff like that.
The DBAC rules. The DBAC rules. Don't be a cunt.
Basically, I imagine it's just anywhere within the realm of Netherwinter.
Just an angry queen pokes her head up and throws a rock at you. Damn it!
Stop it!
Damn it.
Hey, you doing necromancy over there? Stop it.
She just starts blowing a whistle, her dog whistle, and just barf.
Bark.
Anyway, we'll go back to Neverwinter. And I'll pull it into port like an actual boat. That way we can just
There's a
easily
very
get off of the
confused ferryman there. Like, there's very confused people at dock who go, what are we meant to do? It's a whale!
Oh,
You
don't
can't
worry,
tie
you don't
off
have
a
to worry
whale?
about tying it off, it's fine.
Like, there's one apprentice there, like a kid with, like, too much rope, like, what do you mean?
Oh, once we get off, he's gonna go back up to the sky. He'll be alright.
You what?
Don't worry about it. It's complicated.
Dad, I'm gonna start drinking.
Still working it
You're
out.
13. No. I'm saying shit, man. You make your way in, carrying the chests, moving your way. After about half an hour to an hour, you make into the castle itself. They know you. They let you in, and what you eventually see when you do get up into the room, room in which everything had previously transpired in, which was once the proper room of court for Sildar as well as his throne room, you see Gregor is there.
Oh.
Flanked by 3 individuals. One has thick locks of brown hair that go down to his shoulders. The other one has, it's quite tall. It's probably 6.5 foot tall, with grey hair that's cut and shaven down to nearly, just like literally as sharp down as it can go. And the other one is just a mess of hair down to like the lower back of bright red. They're all wearing these kind of like worn, tattered garb and heavy traveling attire. And you can see that Kerrick is sat at the window looking out and away from everything, whilst Herza's talking to Sildar and to Legacy still. And as you guys approach, they're talking quiet as Sildar essentially stands himself up, turns towards the lot of you. So have you dealt with what's going on
Yes.
up at sea?
I curtsy and I report that we found a Gregor-looking thing. We destroyed it.
You what?
We
It
were
had
capable.
similar features.
Gregor is an inch away from King. What?
I sort of slide my way in between, just like.
You get shoved. What?
There was a thing.
Roll
Hey!
immediately.
Have I stopped? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
No, everyone else basically interrupted you, but he basically stopped Kika from getting between him and you. What?
The thing that appeared to fall from the sky, summoned by the Gith, had much the appearance of you.
No. That's no. That's not possible. That's not possible. You're lying. want to think you're lying. Make a persuasion check.
For record, I'm gonna turn invisible.
And again.
And I'm going to get behind Widdick.
Why are there always like 12 P words?
You can just see that Gregor is just... He's balled up, for lack of a better term. Like, to the point where it's very heavily looming over. And his hands are to his sides, like he doesn't know what to do with his hands. Until Legacy stomps down once. Gregor, step down now. Now! It takes the second for him to pull.
My apologies, I do not know the significance of your particular shape. It is entirely possible that she has simply seen you and mimicked to
No.
cause confusion.
Nobody can mimic me. I spent 20 years making sure no one could mimic me. Because no one should be made to go through what I went through, and no one should be made like me. One monster is enough. We burnt and killed so much to wipe away all of it. There should be no way to make another me.
For people paying attention, your king sort of tilts her head in an odd way when looking at when hearing this.
His eyes are fully bloodshot, by the way.
King looks like she's going to say something. You can sort of tell by literally seeing the tension in her vocal cords in her throat, and then she stops herself.
Okay.
Shouldn't be anything like me. And he turns towards everyone here. He looks long at Kika, and as he does, his shoulders just drop down as there's just a very sudden realization and regret for looking over towards Razak. What do you know? And as this is the first time this, mostly, except for when he's actually fighting, quiet, slothish, deep-voiced, slow-speaking person, everything seems to be trying to work at 12th gear in his head at the same time. Herzan just raises up his hands. I am aware she is known for splicing in creating simulacrums. She has created clones, mostly only of herself. But she is a notorious gene splicer. She is a notorious crafter of simulacrums and golems. She is a lich. She can craft the dead. I do not know how, but if one of these things you've mentioned, if she got hold of any of it, it would not have taken her long to find out how, if she got anything to work with. I'm sorry, but that is No one has ever seen what she does or how she works. Even a single person invading the city of the Githyanki by themselves in stealth is a feat. Even to kill or steal a single thing or person is remarkable. Which is why I'm sorry to diverge from this, but why I believe your plan to use the spies to attack her is madness. To try and take back what you want, you are going into the heart of an empire that spends its entire life training, practicing the exact type of raid you would try to carry out on them. We do not assault the Githyanki on their home or in one of their bastions. It is folly for us to try. It is madness for us to try, and we have fought them for millennia. It would be nothing short of harebrained for you to attempt it. It would be madness. You must not do it. Unless you are able to confound every enemy who she's ever slighted at once to attack. But even then, to fight the Archlich on her home turf where she's practically a demigod. So Sildar, looking around. So what can we do to get our people home? If we cannot attack them, we know we cannot trade with them, we cannot deal with them, we cannot bargain. Especially not after tonight. What can we do to get our people back? I'm sorry, but you must move on. I don't know of a way that you could not get them all back. The only potentials you may have is whenever we've had people captured is when they were in the astral sea between two locations. An ambush at one of those points, an overwhelming strike, collection, and deletion to take away from the area immediately before anyone can respond. You would have mere moments to do so before any other ships arrived. Posey,
Insight check.
make an insight check.
I'll take it.
What are you inciting for?
If it's actually him, is he full of shit? Trying to lead us down a path that is worse.
He genuinely seemed bleak in the idea of trying to attack the city of the Githyanki by itself. He believes that to be a mad affair. Honestly, he sounded like he was trying to preach people not to throw their lives away. And the other half of it, it sounds like he's talking from experience.
May I ask some information?
You may.
How big is this empire?
Pick up any map. Point to one end, point to another. And you're still underestimating it. The astral sea is her domain. It is the only force that can actively traverse it. The smallest number of our people became Gitsarai. The Githyanki constantly multiply. And in a place where they have this, their benefits. Aside from having to leave the astral plane in order to actually grow as time stands still there, the Gith have no reason to leave that plane. So as such, they never die. We never die in the sea, unless we are killed by mortal causes. Same as anyone else. Time stands still there. You do not age. You do not grow old.
What is the mood of the people of that empire?
We were all once slaves to the Mind Flayers. All controlled, all dominated. Blackith and Gith freed us. Blakith is all that remains of those two, to most people's knowledge. As such, they are loyal to her, even though she has willingly sided with beings from the Hells, and in herself has taken up witchdom.
Interesting. Powerful, powerful empires are prone to imploding, but a people rescued.
Not when a people were built upon the bones of slavery. And she is the last vestige of those who freed them. Even if they wanted to rebel, I doubt they'd have any hope of believing they could.
Indeed, and I doubt many seek power. It is thankfulness that holds them. This will be tricky indeed.
It is a fanaticism.
They would just find Gith, right?
Gith is
Okay.
gone.
How?
No one knows where Gith is. The last who have ever seen them was Vlakith, and she said they were dead. That they were lost to the ether. No one has ever found them. There are some
Convenient.
who believe that, you mentioned, one of the reasons Githzerai were made. Vlakith took to lichdom, took to making deals with Tiamat long before Gith's end. The Gith saw it as a means to an end, to drive out the mind players. Anything to get rid of that horror, which to this day none of us can decree whatever it took to get rid of that. But the aftermath of it has left us with a tyrant, and the only person with the will to have ever opposed her, the only person she ever bent a knee to, is gone. No one knows what happened to Gith, save Vlakith. Many believe she killed him. There are some who are hopeful that he's been sealed away, but that would be to an impossibility. For there's been none who's been able to ever find him. If you wish to try and begin that as a attempt to find Gith, be my guest that you would join a long line of people who have also sought after the Gith.
It would likely be an ineffectual attempt.
Ineffectual, but it would not be as suicidal as attack unto Narath.
I will. I know 3 people that are fanatically devoted to somebody who freed them from slavery. I will consult them on what would make them betray their king.
Do so
Maybe
as
they-
you will, but you were talking about 3 people who have different life experiences to any Gith. By all accounts, while you can get one opinion of one thing, the living situations could be entirely different.
I would concur with this. Concur with this.
Vlakith made a kingdom, an entire city, on the body of a dead god. By that message alone and the fact that she has a mastery of witchdom, many believe that she would have eyes or a view or a sight or a power over the entire city. The reason I speak in speculatives is that none of us have ever gotten out to tell the tale. And anyone who has ever gone rogue and fled very rarely lived long enough to tell much of the deeds.
But the fact that you are standing here says there is some hope.
We were never loyal to her. The Githzerai were never loyal to Vlakith. Never have been, All will we ever be. We actively strike out against the Githyanki. The creatures they have here on this plane are hunted. If they happen to have any in any other plane, but this is the easiest one to invade for them. The easiest one to leave points of hidden, points of power. This would be
Keep in mind my suggestions are only grasping at straws, as I am sure no plan is good. Another thought occurs. The slavers were the mind flayers, correct?
yes. They were the original masters of the Astral Sea, with an empire that even sprung here into your material plane. I have limited knowledge, but to my understanding, things did not end well for those who stayed here, or hid here.
I know little myself. However, I assume, more than anything, there is a strong hatred for their kind, correct?
Always. The only thing that can ever stop our two sides in an open conflict is the arrival, or even the prelusion, of the Mind Flayers. But no Mind Flayer would ever attempt to go near or even teleport close to anything that resides to a gift. They have a natural now aversion to it, as a mortal would to a rampaging bear.
I'm wondering, although this is only in addition to what would have to be a better plan, if there would be any way to lure out some mind flayers.
No, you speak in madness.
I
You
do not
speak in
intend to
utter
ally with
madness. No, you speak in madness. No Mind Flayer would ever make a deal with you.
I don't want to deal with
No
them.
Mind Flayer would ever be lured out by you. No Mind Flayer would ever be lured if they ever even had the inclination that you were working or anywhere near either gift side.
I was thinking of attacking them.
So you wish to fight them, to hunt Mind Flayers to lure out Gith. To what end would that do? You do realize the moment the Mind Flayers drop dead, the Gith Yankee and Githzerai go back to slaughter. It is a timeout, a ringing of the bell. The bell is rung again and battle reassumes.
Exactly why I imagine it would only give us minutes. If even that, it would have to be in addition to something of a much greater plan. A distraction, a decoy, one of many.
You
What
are
we are attempting to do,
mad.
as by your own statement, is impossible and madness. And like I said, I am grasping at straws.
Then continue to grasp so long as you do not jump straight into the void grasping at these straws of yours. Because either things that are presented here by the king and queen to attempt to assault them directly, or to lure Mind Flayers to give yourself a delayed moment to do something. Neither event makes any sense. One is to outright assault one of the largest military powers in all the planes. The other is to lure out that which fears Blackith the most.
And your solution is to die, which is also madness.
I have no solution for you because all we have tried to do in our time is to harass and harry them. Outright victory has never been a thing. There are few, very few, who have ever hoped or spoke to the notion of the death of Lakith or the return of Gith. Neither event has ever been portrayed as a guarantee or a possibility. They're called the wishers amongst the Githzerai. They wish for Gith to return. Many of them are at the highest point of our orders. They hope that Gith would return, and so we keep fighting to give them a bastion to return to, should they.
It is an interesting dilemma. Regardless of what path we take, rescuing people, as was the initial proposal, would surely only lead to our destruction at some point or another. We can buy minutes, but we will win battles and lose wars.
There has never been a war with Flakith. There has only been a fight for survival. Outright military conquest against her is next to impossible. She has access to red dragons. She has access to many fleets. My ship would be barely even considered a single fighter from an armada. And an armada of ships and dragons flying in the astral sea, or anywhere for that matter. We have received aid before, but even those who are willing to throw their aid to our side for their outright hatred that we mutually agree on is sparse at best.
You've been at this far longer than we, and trust your judgment in all these matters. It seems, from what you're describing, even if we were to rally all forces of the material plane, we would be found lacking.
Your forces in the material plane are giants of great strength. You could potentially corral dragons of some sort. You could call upon people from this town and from other places, but it seemed like when Blackhead struck, she took away a large portion of people who would have been considered powerful individuals, as well as crippling, to my understanding, one of your largest cities.
Do you know what she wants?
Domination. To rule.
What has stopped her from taking it so far? How has the material plane stood against this force?
Her ire has not been drawn to you. If you were to ask me why her ire was drawn to you, I cannot say. What could have drawn her to you, to this place? Why she decided to abduct people amongst you, I do not know. This is a machination that is different to anything she has done before. Before this, she was more than happy to accumulate force, expand. She would raid. I've no doubts that there had been Get the Yankee raids upon this material plane before. Maybe not to this region of Faerun, but to other places. Collecting of resources, creation of creches to allow young Gith and dragons to grow. That is why we strike out at any that we find, or we attempt to discern the location of.
If we could find out what she wanted. No, that would still not help. I doubt scorched earth tactics can last long against such an empire.
You even thought to deny her whatever she wanted, or whatever prize she sought to claim?
It's a kind of victory, but not much of one.
She would just seek a different prize. You deny her one avenue, burn the forest, she will still take the river. I do not know why she is not pressed further. This has only been a single, massive but still single assault. If you were to ask me what I believed she wanted, was either the heroes or, to what I understand, the acclamation of nobility that was here at the time. Nobility from planes abound. I don't know what you would ever want to do with them.
Bartering, maybe?
Say again?
And then bartering tools, maybe? But that's what most people use royalty for. But
If she needed to barter for anything, she would have taken whatever she sought during the initial attacks.
You already said it. Domination. You take
It's
the
unfortunate.
person who's in charge. There's no one to take charge. Therefore, you just fill in the gap.
Without someone like Gith, somebody who was a true enemy of the Mind Flayer, who may present some better option, there is no way to sway their people. It's looking grim. The only thing I can think of now is to consult history books and the like to see if anyone has fought against impossible odds and won, and hope we can take some small shreds from that, although I doubt it will help.
Pick up a fairy tale book.
It's about where I'm at.
Hey, disembodied voice because she's still not going visible.
They saw you put the ring on, you just sat in the corner invisible.
Oh no, I just used it, yeah. I'm gonna say this even though I don't think Posey's smart enough to really say it, but I'm gonna go insane. You wouldn't say I mean I don't know anything about any of this, but would you say that like Gith was like a prince?
If you were to call Gith anything, Gith would have been the emperor. Gith would have ruled all of us, but never was made into a distinct point of authority.
So it would be king.
A would-be king, and by that point then potentially a prince.
Everything's fine. I mean, it's just very specific. Stop, because it's basically not this.
Just here, scratching against the table. Legacy's just drawing a claw across it. I saw a vision of one of my sons with a child in his arms. A child that would have been part Gith. And if that's true, there are certain very dangerous laws that need to be considered. Because that wasn't just a prince of Faerun, that was a grandson of Asmodeus. That wasn't just a prince of the airplane and the Feywild, but one that was both. Princes of this realm, but princes tied to other planes too.
Do we know how many people were actually taken, like prince-wise?
During Frostbrand.
Girls
Both my
frantically
sons.
grabs a pen.
Both my sons, Audacity and Prosperity, Puffalos and the defenders, but
They weren't taken.
they seem to
Wait.
have disappeared along with it. It seemed to be that both were taken at the same time, but not by the same thing.
they're captured as well.
What?
They're in some sort
I don't know if I told anyone that part.
Well, I think
Out of character, I can't remember if I told anyone.
out of character, didn't I have a vision of them being trapped somewhere?
You did.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I sent a message from that. I can't remember which way around it went. Yeah.
Yeah, because I know I had a
You
vision,
had a vision.
of them being stuck whenever I touched the lightning wall.
Yeah, in like an
Yeah.
hourglass or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're assuming from what Hazar for the party, we're assuming based on what Hazar told us about our hourglasses that that's where they are. We don't know that for sure. We just saw them go into a portal. We know they're in a different dimension because Willick had a vision of them. We were told about hourglasses. We have assumed those three things are the same.
Because then I had told the rest of them about it.
Right?
I'm
Captured
just going
printers and the defenders.
Yeah, because I tried to send a message to one of the defenders, and I
Which
don't
one?
think Roman. And I don't think Blackett liked me doing that.
That she does have them. From my own experience of being kept in magical bonds of notable potency, somebody is going to be hurt by you trying to look in when someone wants you to not.
Yeah, that was me.
There were several times where I took the hit rather than whoever was trying to look in on me.
Interesting.
And we're saying that the princes are all princes of multiple places. So obviously your sons and Papalos, was it? Well,
Puff.
during his
He would be just of here.
just a Belbar, right?
Yes. He is the bastard son of the king, but the king having no other heirs, he is next in line. By all accounts, he was waiting to be coronated, but he can't do that until a decade has passed of his father's death. The joy of dwarven kings just deciding they don't want to die and getting back up can be annoying whenever someone else takes the throne, so they give it 10 years.
Pardon me. But before I go into that, because King will definitely react to that, Frog's got a question. Or a statement, I'm not sure.
I was just gonna put in a flavor thing. That's all.
Flavor
Lo
up, honey,
will
throw some spice
be-
on this.
Lo will be attempting to comfort Kika, just standing, or no, sitting near her, hand on the shoulder, but he will be essentially, head will be in his knees, in his arm, basically like that.
Just one of those like,
And
oh,
his
this
other
sucks, but also the hand is
digging
out
into
here.
his shoulder. Well, it's for other reasons as well, but
I swear at this point we're going to start needing a detective. Why would you want all those princes? The defenders make sense.
The defenders
why
is taking away one
specifically?
of our strongest people.
She never targeted the defenders. I feel like she took them because they went to try and stop her. They went.
That could
through
have just been
portal.
a happy accident, honestly.
Yeah. Well, if she wanted them, surely she'd have zapped them out when she zapped the princes out.
Which she did.
Other.
They disappeared into a portal shortly after.
Right.
I whispered to Willick, none of the defenders are also princes, right?
No.
That's what I'm
Riddick
saying.
would know. No.
Yeah, no.
Princesses.
Technically there would be a princess if you count Glory, but she refuses to be counted as such.
Well,
Yeah.
of course.
I mean, if they... not sure that the defenders... Because they took things that Oso defended as correct.
What do you mean by defended us?
Did she take other strong things, or was it simply the defenders?
The defenders left, but we lost nothing else.
Defenders
We were
went to her.
crippled in the attack by just the assault. But the princes were taken. At this point, Legacy stands up. I must go to my personal quarters. I need to speak with someone.
Oh,
I almost want to reel out this idea, almost being a gentle word, but did she take all of the defenders? Or did she leave the banished one?
who?
Someone I'm not very
You don't
fond
know,
of.
Kika.
No, I know. That's why she made a confused noise. I would.
Widdick, you
Yeah.
know. Widdick, you know.
I know
What?
not much about him, if I'm honest, but there was one who was of the defenders and then left. If he was taking it well, that might be evidence. And if he wasn't, well, he could be working for them. Or maybe he knows why or what connects them.
As Legacy leaves, you can just see she reaches into the robes and just pulls out a simple, though bleached white, almost pearled twig with green leaves on the ends of each of them. She plucks one, puts it under on the top of her lip and begins chewing as she makes her way in and walks away and leaves from you all.
Do I have any idea? Well, do any of
You
us
have
have
no
any
fucking idea correlation causation what the fuck that is. She just ain't hiding.
I'm sorry, I am too close to that particular member. I can't be rational. Which is weird, being that we're talking about somebody who looks completely emotionless, but she's basically
I'm
saying
sorry, I'm being too irrational right now.
like, yeah,
I don't
can't
mean to
even-
raise my voice.
Shut up, Caduceus.
I can't think straight when we talk of that one. I'll leave that to you lot.
Although I do know of him, it's more a case of there's reasons not to have spoken about him or at the time.
I don't know the details, but if it's anything similar to why I have a natural distrust of him, I can understand.
Although I was never privy to much of the conversations, Roman did keep contact with him time to time.
He kept contact with the betrayed defender, the betrayer. After 10,000 years!
The world's most asthmatic Illidan! Liam O'Brien would fucking try it.
Yeah.
Liam O'Brien would fucking pull it off.
Uh, Again, most of the contact that he did have, I don't really know for sure what it was. What?
Sorry.
No, keep talking.
Yeah.
You're all good. You're all good.
But whether it had been
Glory and Varys are just manifesting right now.
No, I'm the glory is laughing at Varys manifesting. Okay, so pissed. Carry on.
out of character real quick.
Yeah,
oh
if
yeah,
I was
no,
zero,
you-
that would be.
you
There's a
guys-
whole bunch
I
going on
wonder
there.
if I ever
but
did tell you that part, because it was a case of Roman's fucking crazy, and if
Oh,
he's
yeah.
gonna pull anybody's fucking ire, fucking why not? It don't matter to him. He's got a fucking safety hole for 200 days.
Anyway.
I go back to my safety box zone. Come back.
Oh, yeah, that's after stream. Other
Anyway.
characters' emotions later.
Yeah. So again, while not really been privy to the conversations much, I do know there was sometimes trade deals, I believe. But what he and the banished one did and traded, I have no idea.
In your opinion, is there any chance he was working with our newest enemy, that he planned this and gave them the information of who to target?
You just hear you just hear Gregor growling it out between his teeth. They were his pets that rose up through the sewers that day. It was his bomb that went off. I've been trying to kill the man for 20 years. And he does that. You want to know who made this? He did. He made me. He makes monsters. And I killed them. That is the mad son of a bitch who did all of this. They were his. His scent was on them. I've killed enough of them. Enough of them have been thrown at me so he can get away. Too many times. That was him. Zero fucking little. Yes, Posey.
Do I know who that is?
Yeah, his notes were all over the book.
Yeah, okay.
Anywhere where something that Gustav had written, which would have resulted in Gregor's death, it was Zero's notes that kept him alive, that actually made it work. He had the base idea. Zero refined it.
Zero's name appeared on the ledger that had the name of me and all I freed, every one of us a slave. I do not know what connection he had to it, but his name was there.
Where did you come up from as a slave? Never mind, he's not snarling at you, it's more a case of he's really pissed off right now, but he knows he can't lash out at you. So he's just... It's literally steam coming out the kettle, but it's out the sides of his lips.
An abandoned iron mine. I don't know what province or anything it was in or anything.
Nor do you. You woke up in a haze several days after it, and everyone had saved you. Or you had saved them, according to them.
I killed so many of those slavers that day. I'd gladly do so again.
Congratulations, I hate you a lot less now. The Ebon Enclave does a lot of slave trading. One of them, in fact, two of them attacked the city that day. Cloth and Zero. Two of the masters of the underground. Cloth dug his fucking claws into it 20 years ago, and he's kept an iron grip. They do whatever they can to kill anything they get down there, including... And there's a moment as he's talking where it just... something just clicks in the side of his head and his shoulders drop. He did it all to get their help. Did it all to get their fucking help. There are mind flayers in Faerun. He let all this happen so that he could kill a few mind flayers. Gregor reaches for the sword that's on his back, drags it over to the table next to Sildar and leaves it down. requesting leave. I go, you know what? Requesting leave. I'm not letting this happen anymore. You don't even know where the first place to go to find him is. I have to try. I don't care if I die. I have to kill the son of a bitch. I have to. I don't know how, I don't know where I can find him, but I have to find something. Maybe I'll punch cloth into the head enough times so he'll fucking aim me at him. I don't know. But I have to kill him. He has to die. It was enough when he did it just to me and to my brothers. But he's done it to too much now. It's not just experiments, now it's mass slaughter. He's killing again. He's wiping out dozens of people. He wiped out hundreds of people. He's doing it again. Neznor can't stop me this time. But he'll be able to find me. And he bows, leaves the sword on the table, and leaves. Walks out, stopping at Kika. I'm sorry. You just saw the real me. And with shoulders slumped, he leaves.
Before he does, King has a tear running down her cheek and just says, "Make him suffer."
The jaws widen back too far on a human face. As from over his shoulder, just out of Kika's peripheral, you can see mad in his eyes. I couldn't have stopped him if I wanted to. I'll have to let Nezanon know that Gregor's off killing again. Gregor!
My friend,
And at the end of the corridor, Gregor stops. You know where the borders are. Do not forget them. I can't stop you. I can only hope I aim you. No innocence. Or do not return at all. And good luck. And you hear a window cracking, all the panes at once snap at a point, crack in a hairline fracture as he howls, leaving. The other three turn and follow him. Sildar is now sat, his elbows against his knees, and his hands over his forehead, just rubbing against it.
Curtsy, forgive me, Your Majesty. I am emotionally compromised and can no longer contribute to this conversation. May I make use of your library?
The northeast wing is off limits. It's only allowed for Archmagi. One of which I am expecting to arrive by some point, and hope at some point, as Sildar takes, like he's fumbling between his sleeves and his robes, and just takes out a small little watch that's just ticking. A little brass contraption, just 2 hours. He will come. I know you said you would keep the spire until, but I know heroes. I know adventurers. You're as likely to keep it. I promise you spire that I have is close, and I will be giving it over. I am not asking you to
Insight check.
go ahead. Insight check.
Yeah, I'll join on that.
Ooh.
Stop dabbing!
Never.
What? The other one was out of character. Shut up.
No, it was in character, just not the one you're playing currently.
The only way he
No,
could have
it's
beat
close,
you is if he rolled a natural 20. Because he's not a liar. He's not lying when he says he has it close. And he's not lying when he says he intends to give it over.
But
No but.
It definitely sounded like there's going to be a but to that.
The only thing additional was that he is sincere in that he's hoping you will also give it.
King's barely heard and just sort of curtsies, says, "By your leave." And she turns and walks out and just sort of as passing says, "I'm going to see if I can find some ruins of library in the city." Assuming, of course, the city has a library, she doesn't know.
Does
As
it
opposed
does.
to the royal library.
After asking anyone, there's only one library in the city, and it is in the southwest of it.
Yeah.
A giant got thrown through it, so the southwestern section is kind of being repaired right now, but it's not a priority. Due to the fact of its size, it's actually being used right now as sort of a pseudo hospital. So it's definitely not going to be quiet. But if you want to find space to try and find something, you can. It's just not going to be as easy as walking into the library.
Yeah, King's gonna mostly just be walking like a zombie in that direction anyway.
Oh my
And I don't mean that because of how she looks.
Oh my god, it's happening! Rockford, no! Track this out of me!
Oh come
Headshot.
on,
Come on!
come on, oh come on, King. It's a very elegantly dressed zombie. Come on.
Zombie. Classy zombie.
You know, less zombie and more zombie bride.
Pride and Prejudice and zombies.
A corpse bride.
Or of course, yeah.
Relation, you summed up the King's aesthetic.
Because just because she's undead doesn't mean she can't look fabulous. Sorry, that's low coming out.
So what
You
happened?
hear-
Thoroughly
you hear-
exposed right now.
Mostly hear it echoed in the halls as she's going because she's mostly whispering, but you know, royal halls is probably quiet enough to hear a pin drop at the moment. You just hear her mumbling saying, "Chicken went to get a book. Book. You don't catch all of it, but she's making some sort of pun, something to do with birds and frogs and books.
So, what happens now for us? What's next? Are we...
Sildar looks beyond exhausted. Just before anything else, Kika, would you come over, please?
Right.
He just like takes your hands and just like clasps his over both of them. Go home. Take your brother and go home. You don't have to do this.
I can't go home.
You can stay here and help me here then if you want. There are things I can definitely get you to do to contribute. I don't want you getting hurt.
It's a bit
And you
late
just hear
for
from loudly, "Too late for that, I got fucking shot!" He just like takes your hands and kind of like turns to basically like upright, like, and just like leans in to kiss the like knuckles of the fingers of him. I'm giving you an out. I'm not going to make you leave. But I'm also not making you do any of this. If you want to continue, it's your choice, and I'll give you everything I can to help you.
I'm gonna do nothing. Like, we can't go home. Literally, we can't go home. It's too far. We're stuck.
Right. Stacey?
If Kika is going to Hilda and Kayak, is that what you said?
Carrick's by the window.
Oh.
He kind of just shouted, Dickon!
Yeah, if as soon as Kika goes up, Lo is going to try and leave, but he will sit on the other side of the door and then suddenly just go stop falling.
You just turn outside and just kind of curl up. I can get people to get you home. You're not stuck here. I'm going to do everything I can to get your family home. Our family home. But I'm stuck making choices that I wouldn't wish on anyone. I wouldn't even wish them on the devil, not only because he's my in-law. We are in a situation that I cannot fathom what you're going through. And all I want to do is take you away from this. To give you a reason to be able to be safe. If I could have taken any of their places, I would have. You know that, right? Poor thing. It just like pulls you in for a hug, not knowing what to say, not knowing what to do.
She doesn't either.
You just hear as characters like comes over. Well, I'm getting one too. It's like, yeah, okay, you're getting a hug too. They're not gone forever. We'll get them back. I understand what's being said here today and makes things sound impossible. But impossible's our speciality. We've done things that were crazy. And I'll do everything I can. With a lot more people here who weren't here already that are also very competent and talented who can help us. I'll get them home to you. I promise you, I'll get them home to you.
Leave the room.
As you're beginning to go, if you want rooms prepared, what we have, you can all have it. I'll give you anything I can to help you. Anything I can give you to help, I will. I can give you 2 rooms of 4 beds to be in, right next to each other. If you need anything, you need only let someone know and it'll be provided. I can get you cold drink, warm food, whatever you need. Whatever I can give you, I will. Tonight, all I can give you is a good bed. Something to eat.
Balls is just talking, but I'm now continuing to leave the room.
Okay.
I follow Renara.
Care, can you take her to a room? And he just like waves a hand to one of the guards that are just outside. Just take her to a room, please. Get yourself some rest. You're both exhausted. You both need rest.
I don't need
go
a
down.
rest. I just need my mom and dad back. That's all it is. Why does it have to be so hard?
So they're covering up his eyes right now and just very shallowly breathing. I don't know why this has happened to us. None of this is fair. None of this is just or deserved. No one deserves this. But right now, we're both tired a lot. We're not going to be able to help anyone with us sleep. It's much past your bedtime anyway, darling. Care, please. And Carrick is basically just like what he was wrapped around Sildar, just wrapped around you entirely. And only when Kika and Carrick are out of the room, you just hear. As Sildar begins crying in the room. Made you cry this week, bitch! That's what you get!
I can make
Last week,
I can make myself cry.
Meanwhile, while he's crying, is Loyalty and Winnick still in the room, just standing there, like,
Low is
Just
gone
walking
up.
in by the door. It's like,
It's just Widdick.
Okay, so Winnick's just there, like,
Everyone's left.
just backs out slowly.
What I was going to say was, well,
I was gonna ask.
uh,
Sorry, go ahead, Frog.
no, I was. It depends on what you're going to do. So carry on, Nerwin.
No, it was just gonna be a case of, because I'm having to think about it. Do I still feel that pulse or whatever from whenever I was fighting the?
Something is wrong in your head. It being shattered made that ease, but there's still. It's like eating a lot of food, but just not enough to be full. It's just that little craving for that feeling again, that satisfaction again. And in that moment, I just stood there. You just hear Widdick. Do you remember the day we met?
Been about 20 years, but I think so.
Alright, I'm just
Whatever.
imagining a robot pulling that face.
In terms of the me being freed time,
You
or
being freed.
yeah, I remember.
It was a day where I said, you and your kin who had been unjustly done were not going to be unjustly done by me and mine. I can't ask you to do something with all of them or to all of them, but I'm asking you, one person to another, if you have an option here, if you get an option, kill the bitch. It's not now, might not be for years, but if you ever get the opportunity to have her life on a knife's edge, ram it right through her. She doesn't deserve life for what she did to that girl. She ruined her life. She ruined a lot of people's lives. She did you a disservice that day too. All because she wanted to capture my sons.
Well, I mean, I've long been noticing something different. Some sort of want, need to right any wrongs done to mortal man ever since my freeing. Just recent times, I've noticed I've now been having a want to restore balance almost.
Rather than vengeance.
Yes.
Rather than plunge one side of the level all the way down after it had turned the other one. Bring it back to even.
Yes.
That sounds like something that a paladin who has been talked to by a god would say. Not something I would personally know about. But I know a cleric in the city who might be able to give you a bit of insight in that. Tomorrow I'll arrange, if you're willing, you can check in with Faith and see if she can give you a bit of clarity in this. She does serve a war god, even though she is more clerical than paladin.
Yeah.
And if anyone's going to help you, aside from Jiren, she's probably one of the most powerful clerics I know. She's probably your point of contact. I'll, when Legacy gets back, I'll see about getting that resolved. I can't. You've helped us before. All of you have. But my stomach turns at the notion of asking you to do a single damn thing more for us. But I'm stuck now in a situation where I have either a bloodthirsty murderer, a rampaging monster who just took leave, or you and yours. We have been too leaned on, too heavily reliant on individuals. I'm going to change that if I get through this. But until then, until we can get some sort of balance, everyone in this country is going to be looking to the sky in terror, which they haven't done in 20 years. I can't tell you to, but I can ask you. Will you help?
I'll help.
Sildar gets up.
Actually, before I have to think. What happened to my brother?
They're gone around the world. I didn't make anyone stay. After the battle, a portion of the funds from Imrith there were given out to anything. The Warforged were allowed to craft, create, just like you were. But you stuck with Roman. Many others found a craft that they enjoyed, something that pulled to their passions. So we funded them. Let them set up, let them build, get their own place and organize. Some went off and were adventurers because that's the life of soldiers, all they knew, or all they wanted to know. They didn't want to think about anything else. Others went off to be craftsmen, painters, chefs, bakers, hunters, farmers.
Out of character, real quick. A fucking Warforged chef is kind of probably gonna not really be the greatest thing. They can't taste their fucking food.
They're from Futurama!
Opens the oven in his chest, pulls out.
Yeah, just.
Oh, they're done.
Why not Dr. Zoidberg?
Anyway,
That's a Triton.
Clamps.
I'm gonna clamp you.
There's a mobster in Utah who's clamps.
The crab. Unpleasant crab.
Unpleasant.
Unpleasant crabs, Jaeger. Anyway. They've all gone and done things. I wouldn't be able to actually say. I made a point not to keep track of any of them. They don't need someone hovering over their lives. And also, they've got a chance to do what's right.
Well, not that I truly think. Well, I shouldn't say an option, but well, no. Even then, it's not something you can force or ask of anyone, really.
Go on.
Well, it was just a thought of. I mean, I know myself, and most of my other brethren feel the same in terms. We have no need for food, water, have no care for disease. We're an endless walking force. No need for real rest. But
And we're powerful enough to contest the forces of Neverwinter, Gauntlgrim, Citadel Felbar, and several giants. Really by themselves, considering Zalto more or less ran into the Jarl and everyone else by himself like a sociopath.
yes,
And Gregor jumped on top of Sansori.
that being said, I feel it would be an idea of
Calling the conscripts.
well, no, more immovable object meets unstoppable force. But that being said, I'm not saying we make more or even
No.
do any calling of people. I'm
The
not saying
craft,
that.
the craft of the Warforged, from what I understand from apparently some boasting from Samoshi, but that was as much boasting that could have been that he was the man who farted and created the first wind, for all I knew with him. But he says that there are others of you on other planes. People like you at the very least. But I've never explored beyond. I've been too busy here. And as much as you make a point, yes, there is the unstoppable force. Even at the time, I didn't think we had ever a need need for another army. I didn't want to think we had another need for another army. I know there was a few bands of your own kin. I can see about trying to request good favor for now and reward later in regards to getting them to help. There was a handful that are still in the city, but not many. Maybe half a dozen.
But again, it's more so. I've been having this call, but I'm not entirely sure the plane this god resides.
You don't know how to answer the call.
Yeah.
You don't know how to respond. I'll talk to Faith. She should be able to talk to you tomorrow about this. What would be the correct term? Get a tie between you and there. At the very least, open a door. But that would be something you'd have to choose to walk through. But you've already made one choice tonight. And Sildar gets up and he motions for you to come close as he makes his way towards the throne. And he reaches up towards the side and he pulls out this heavy looking longsword. Kneel.
I'll kneel before the king.
I dub thee Sir Wittick. Reforged from the war of dragons and giants. May you guard your friends. May you aid this realm should I call upon you. And as he finishes, and you lift your head, the hilt of the blade is aimed towards you. Take the rune fang. I've always been a fan of my
gladly
hammer.
take the weapon from him.
A sword that he tried to give to Varus once, but Varus said, no, it's too heavy.
Ooh, a new sword!
It is a long sword, and I'll give you the stats of it later.
Right.
Now rise, Sir Wittick. A little bit more than the bodyguard for an apothecary.
It was a gig, you know.
Oh. You'd be quite surprised that I once had a gig that was bodyguarding someone that ended up with me on a throne at one point of it.
Plus, I mean, I just reached into my other bag that wasn't the bag I'm holding. Plus, I still have him with me, so it's fine. Pull out my little pop figure that I have bought at the fucking festival.
I forgot about the fucking pop figures!
That I have kept with me this entire fucking time.
I have all of them in my bedroom, just rolled up. Yes, Lo.
So does Renara.
Meanwhile, Lo is having a little bit of a crisis. He will gently put a hand to where Puck is sitting. Just go, Puck, dude, I'm about to do something very, very stupid. Stand behind me, okay?
Absolutely not.
Yes.
He just kind of like sits right in front, like leaning on your neck, like, nah, I'm right here in the middle of it, where I belong.
Stands up and, without any consideration for the formality, sort of goes, we brought money. We brought money. Lots of money. From the pirate wreck.
As you're holding a bucket
just-
of Roman, Lo busts in. We have money.
Look, I was going
And the
to.
hair is all over the place. Carry on.
figured we was gonna discuss that with them tomorrow, since it was kind of a stressful day today.
Thank you for letting me know. You got it from the ship, but I understand the rules of find a keeper. You'd be quite surprised how prevalent that can actually end up being. But
No, 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 no. Please, just promise me something. Just use it to protect the kids, okay? Just use it to protect the kids of Neverwinter.
done.
They don't they had no choice in all of it.
None of us did. But they are the ones who are suffering the most. A lot of people are in a lot of issue right now. But if you have funds, that's going to help with food, that's going to help with clothes, that's going to help with supplies for the winter. All that will help massively. I know I still had that fucking meeting this morning. A lot of people weren't willing to give us help because we didn't have the funds to back it. Because I've been running dry and relying on good favor. Because a large portion of our stores and where we kept our vaults went boom. We kept vaults close to the castle, which went with everything else. We had some still. We didn't just keep everything to one place, because unlike the people of Waterdeep who like getting their place heisted every 10 days, we're not an idiot. We space it out. So we've been able to use pockets of it to our benefit. But the major store of it, we kept in one place for obvious reasons. We would never be caught without everything. But right now I'm relying on goodwill. That will help, and that will save lives.
I mean, I'm no good at all this warp strategy stuff. Just use it to make sure the kids are okay. Just that they make sure that the kids are okay.
Sildar reaches behind him and just moves the cloak out of his way as he sits down, not on the throne, but on one of the steps. He just has the elbows again on the knees. That'll be the first thing I do with the money. Is helping people. Helping the kids. Making sure people have food. Making sure that we can buy enough. Thankfully, we have at least some people. Golden Fields, even though I couldn't offer them money, had a boon of a bounty over the last few years, so they have stores because their food can last multiple years. There's something about where it's grown, it can just benefit from that, so they have that side of it cornered, but their people are, they can understand when someone's in trouble and they're more than willing to give a hand. Mirabar has always been about trade of minerals mining, but they also have some of the best pelts, furs, and hides, so of course anything that goes through setting things up, your charges has a lot of stuff, a lot of trade, a lot of import, so getting them to work with us for solid dealings, honestly, if I can go around them, I will. And given that Grim will be doing us favors, Golden Field, Waterdeep,
all the meantime, Lo is just trying desperately and failing. Just don't.
Tilda just
Makes
watches
the
it, and he
hair
just
fall
takes
back
a
and
portion of his hair that's a bit long and just yanks it down and goes, don't bother, you're fine. We've had a day and
I
you
just
literally
put a
went out
hand
to
on
sleep.
his head. Just you're fine.
You put a hand on his head and lift it up and just static. Zoop. And then once it's awake, just vumps down.
Are the passengers alright?
Puff listened there no, not Puff. I said Puff. Puck.
Yeah.
Too many P's. Puck, puff, and blighted princes. Tricks. Posy, prosperity. Cunts.
That starts with a C, not a P.
Punts. I'll punch
Okay.
you in a minute. Punt.
Okay.
Pate.
Thank you.
I'll do everything I can to help kids. I'm an old soldier. I'm an old hero. I don't have sage advice. I've only seen what's been wrong and what's been right, and who to trust and who not to trust. For the most part.
You imagine I'm just a dancer.
Yes, but a dancer whose first thought was make sure kids are taken care of. Which means you're a dancer who's also a good person. So congratulations, you have 2 sets to yourself. But I don't have sage advice. I rely on my wife for that. I rely on my daughters for that. I relied on my sons for that. I relied on a lot of close friends, and I had a network. A network that was taken out from under me of people I care about. I have to try and decide, save my family, save my people. And I can only hear the cries of one of them right now, and I have to answer them.
Thank you for looking out for Bluebird. I know she.
She's nearly a goddaughter to me.
little.
You realize that? I mean, we all, every one of us who's old enough says we're all, basically, it's more like we all kind of like competed for it. Legacy was pissed when somebody else became the godmother, but that's besides the point, because let's be real, if you're going to pick the godmother, pick the fairy godmother. You're already going into the trope.
I think the family. I'm new to the whole free thing.
Who are you related to now?
You know, it's just to the cult.
Oh, she took you in. Okay, I can make sense of that now. Okay. She tends to take in
Yeah.
unfortunate women or good guys, so. I refuse to look at what Kay's posting. I refuse. It'll break me.
It's fine, it's in the wrong chat.
That's why I got the ping, because I've muted pop so I don't get them. I don't get tempted to look. Look,
Yeah.
as your king, I hereby order you to go the fuck to sleep.
Yes,
The
sir.
Archmage will be there in the morning to take your spire, and we'll have proof that mine's been taken too.
We getting like a written.
No, he'll literally have it in his hand.
I mean, King,
Or
I mean,
maybe you'll have
King
it
will
floating.
demand written proof because that's how she works.
Yes,
King's
I would
not
like
here
a
to
written
debate that right
certificate
now.
of authenticity that this has been taken,
Yep.
stamped by 5 people.
Have to have the proper
varying levels.
paperwork.
You ever remember the bureaucracy episode of Futurama?
No.
Yes, I
Absolutely
remember. It was
correct.
it was very important, very understanding. Yes, but you only stamped it 4 times.
Names.
No, I was young and reckless.
Ah, yes, technically correct. The best kind of correct.
Yes.
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 But anyway,
Guards, bring me the paperwork. I need a file to have this woman taken away.
If only King was there, he'd be all over it.
Oh, you fucking would as well. I know you would, you crazy bitch.
Bureaucracy! I'm all about.
Signed in triplicate.
King would sign the order to have her kicked out.
Taken away. Well, of course, legal document. Yeet.
but but yeah, it is getting late. People need rest.
He just like gets himself
Yeah.
up and just sits back up onto the throne. Master Herzog, I doubt we have anything that we can provide for you here, but know that anything you require will be offered. And Herzog, who has just sat and watched this whole thing,
I just having to think about that.
he's just sat in a
Like,
chair
he's probably
at
there,
the
like,
table.
Fucking mortals.
This is what you
Jesus
get for
H.
having a
Christ.
very high passive stealth. You could just decide, hey, you don't see me anymore, fuckers. You know, like being in a room and like he's obviously in the background, but all the attention's on the foreground, so you don't notice him.
It's just
That
Drax.
shit. Literally
But
what you guys did with
he's
the fire.
standing very still.
He's Drax, but he's good at it. Drax is his brother, who's a barbarian.
What do you mean? Drax is very good at it.
Hi, Drax.
He does stealth by intimidation.
You do not see Drax.
If I close my eyes, they don't see
I
me.
don't have anything that I require, but given the fact that we have disposed of one of the simulacrums of Lakith, I'll be making my way, and my people will probably be jumping between several planes to avoid contact for a while. We cannot be tracked if we manage to dodge a few of them. Whilst sending through planers tends to be a bit difficult and not always work, if any of your people do require, and it doesn't work the first time, an eventual effort, I will respond if I get something sent to me. I will also need to return to the people who have at least the hope that Gith will return to us one day, and at least let them know what's happened here. Lakith probably did not expect that we had people in the material plane on this side, which we didn't, until the red-headed one, not you, and not the one with the flower crown, the other one, called for us to come and give a hand, which we did. Might make her hesitate just sending things willy-nilly, as she knows that there are people who can permanently do damage to her. And I will try to sit down with these magi that you speak of tomorrow if they're going to be here, or even tonight if I have the opportunity, and discuss in how you may learn to craft one of the crystals which you can use to dispose permanently of an individual. But until then, and he does bow to both the king and then to both of you two, I wish you well. He looks up, kneels down, jumps up to an open window at the top of the building, up and up. Probably jumped a good 40 foot.
The dragoon.
He's a dragoon, but forget a gazoon. A goon. Yeah.
The goon!
A goon.
But Drakith is right there.
Yes, it is, but it sounds cool. That's why I chose it not. You guys
I know,
leave?
the king keeps saying, "Oh, you can have anything you want," but King says, "Can I use your library?" No, fire.
No, that's only for archmages.
You can use most of it. Just one section is not for you.
He didn't say that, did he?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
That's exactly
Oh,
what he
that's
said.
The left wing of it
Okay,
is not
King is
available.
probably at that library.
The north right wing is just the northeast wing is unaccessible. Everything else you can take a
Oh.
look.
I must have misheard you. Then yeah, he's
Yep.
probably in the royal library.
Dickhead. There's only one library, so technically it also counts as the royal library.
Ah.
Do you two make your way then?
Yeah.
Spilder just sits into the throne. It's kind of like slumped, and the hand is on his thing, his eyes closed, and there are guards who come into the room. And it gets closed behind you. What's up, buddy?
Nothing. Nothing.
Really? You sure? Giant chicken nuggy? I don't even know who you're doing it at, but I'm just gonna presume.
She knows.
It was
It's
a
She
me.
fucking knows.
It's me. I'm the one they're swearing at.
I always imagine these guards at the throne room and overhear all this sort of stuff, and they go home and the wife's like, "Oh, anything interesting happening at work today?" No.
No.
That's,
No, it did
Prayer
not.
today.
that's gonna be my next D&D character.
The people were all gone.
Never went to City Guard.
Yeah.
Being that Sodar is as old as he is in terms of just being in that throne, I imagine he like falls asleep in the throne and one of them just like picks him up and like, all right, time to go to bed.
2 or 3 of them pick up. Like he's a little brick of a guy.
They tuck him
Right.
in, get him a little glass of warm milk.
Yeah. Just all right, King, time for bed. Come on
Like
now.
they have to hold him outside the door while Legacy takes a call with her dad on the inside, going, "Are you off the phone? Are you off the Skype call yet?" Of course, the devil will use Skype.
Oh yeah,
I'm still following Runara, by the way, wherever the fuck Runara is going.
Runara went to the beach.
I don't know that Poker's following me. 'Cause she's
No,
not
you
visible.
don't, because she's invisible.
I'm walking to the beach. I'm gonna go walk to the beach. I'm gonna sit on
I'm
the
drowning
sand
myself in bureaucracy.
and just lay back on the beach and look at the stars.
oh,
You sit yourself down. You can feel the sand between your fingers. You just like almost way down into it a little bit, onto the softer side of it. Just look up. Beyond counting.
I'm just gonna, if nothing else happens, just lose myself in my own thoughts and just sit there.
As the stars above you dance. As you sit there, not entirely alone, contemplating your thoughts. We're going to end the session there. Thank you all so much for watching, if indeed you still are.
Such a chill session.
Very chill.
We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye!